Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're listening to this. We are just grateful to here. Welcome to another episode of Big Bear Theory. I'm here with Tanner Ahoy. My name is Parker Wyatt,
Hi, guys.
and we are starting a new series that we'll talk about in just a second. But wanted to give everybody some updates. One, if you haven't not noticed, we have a new logo. So we got rid of our original logo. We have a new one. So if you like it, feel free to let us know. Give us some
Moving
likes,
up.
give us some shares, give us some follows. We're recording episode 4 now. 3 are already published. We're on episode 4. Heard a lot of great reviews, and I think, Tanner, if you remember, I don't remember which, it was either episode 2 or 3, but our goal was one listener, just one random.
We did it.
First episode, man, I think we're at 37 downloads, 35 downloads. So we did great. So we've already hit our first milestone. Definitely gives us something to look forward to. And as I was looking at how to boost a podcast and things like that, um, there was an article that I was reading, and the one thing that it said, and I thought it was very, very funny, was they said it'll take approximately 5 to 6 months to get your podcast to where you want to get it to, which I thought was funny because we're talking about trying new things and how that 6 month
6
marker
months, yeah.
is pretty much the thing. And so they
Yeah.
said 5 to 6 months, and I was like, all right, I'm not just BSing, guys. Like
You're not
it's
crazy.
there,
Yeah.
it exists.
You're not crazy.
I'm not crazy. My mother had me tested, which is funny because it's a Big Bang Theory, and then we have the Big Bear Theory, and okay, you had to be there. Have you actually watched Big Bang Theory, Tanner?
I've seen episodes here and there. It's great. It's funny.
It's for my old geezer self. I
I
feel
know, I was
like,
about to say, I think like shows like that, like I think the target audience is just like a little bit
yeah,
above us, maybe
yeah.
in
No, I mean,
age.
I don't think everyone I ask if they watch, they don't watch it.
Anybody who loves that show, we mean no offense by what we say.
Yeah.
Like if anybody's listening
I
to it being
love
like,
the
dude,
show.
Big Bang Theory is my favorite show. Like, I mean, no disrespect by it.
Okay, because you don't have to worry about it because I love the show. So if anyone loves the show, you're just on my
Yeah, I'm
side.
more
That's
of
fine.
an office guy myself. You know.
Office is good though.
hmm
So, but I guess we could have called it the podcast.
But nah, I don't think it. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't quite ring off the tongue
Yeah,
as much. You know.
that's fair. All right.
The podcast.
Anyways, good little segue there. And so the new series, let's call it a series within a series. We're actually going to have a couple of them come out so that we have routine information. Because of course we're there to kind of help um, get perspective on ways to be more successful. Um, but we do, part of Barefoot, that is the brand, is to help people be more successful, help people grow. um, the other part is the lifeguarding aspect, right? We do run a lifeguard company, and so one of the mini series that we are going to run is true life-saving stories throughout all of the U.S., maybe the world. And so Tanner found some, I found some, and we'll probably just kind of add this in the mix and just kind of hear other people's stories and how what they went through and provide a little comment and kind of go from there. Some are good, some are super sincere, some are just crazy. Like mine is pretty wild. I wouldn't say extremely wild, but it's
Yeah.
pretty funny how it all went about. And our goal is to give like a mix. Sometimes we're just doing when you're lifeguarding, sometimes your stories are very straightforward. Sometimes it is crazy and chaotic, and sometimes it's extremely intense. 911's called everything. So the
Right.
goal is really to kind of show you what you could experience and all of the fun and crazy things, to share other people's stories and just get an overall feel for truly what lifeguarding is. Now, obviously, most of lifeguarding is just, focus on the job. you're not saving someone daily or even monthly. When these things happen, they just randomly happen. But when they do happen, they are pretty great, either for being extremely crazy or extremely heartfelt,
Right,
life
and you
saving.
kinda mentioned it. I'm glad you mentioned it like that. It's like we kinda have a good, variety of stories today, and that's kinda like how I envisioned it going forward is, like, having all these different like, some are by a pool, but some are just CPR, stories, because it kinda shows you the randomness of it, and
Yeah,
you can never, like, predict, when this stuff's gonna go wrong or, gonna go down, so, yeah, I think that we got a good segment going forward.
it's good. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's gonna be good. So, without further ado, we'll do our first story. I will say this one's a little long, so I do apologize. Um, but I think it's pretty funny. So, this is about a lifeguard instructor and everything that went wrong, essentially. Um, the guy's name, I just, just found it on Quora. I think that's how you say it. But I'll give credit to this guy. His name is Ranjetta Pubathi. And if I said your name wrong, Ranjetta, if you're listening, I apologize. Let
That
me
should
know.
be our new podcast goal is to get him to listen to this.
Yes. There we go. Ranjetta, if you're out there, this one's for you,
Yeah,
my guy.
gotta listen. Yeah.
Um, okay. So starts out, I did save a few individuals as well as apparel and jewelry. So, when I was lifeguard on duty in the pool and doing triathlons, but he made the craziest save in a life saving class, so in a lifeguard course. So I volunteered as a life saving instructor for a year at my university. I had a total of 8 bronze medallion students in my class one semester. Two of them, big sized men, did not know how to swim, which is unfortunate because it's a lifeguarding course.
Yeah, you probably need to be able to do that, I would
A
guess.
little bit, you know?
Yeah,
I mean,
just
we've
a
had
little.
people that probably couldn't swim, but it is helpful. Um, One of them was known to be nervous around big water bodies. Personally, I thought this was a terribly unsafe and silly move, but the university's association insisted on since one student managed to pull through previously. But the university association insisted on it since one student managed to pull through previously. Good. Sorry, guys. I'm learning
Reading
how
is
to read
hard.
for the first time. Reading is hard. I had a tough time balancing the lesson between the 8 students as I broke my class into 2 separate sessions, one involving actual life saving lessons for the 6 competent swimmers and a basic swimming lesson for the 2 incompetent ones. I taught the whole class together only when the lessons involved land or training or water entry methods. The 2 non-swimmers eventually learned to float and move around the pool, but they were nowhere near the competence required for the actual bronze medallion exams. I couldn't
Do you know
continue.
real quick, do you know what that is?
I have no idea. Never heard of this.
I probably should have researched that a little bit more. We'll get an
I
answer for you.
honestly, I don't know if this is US.
Hmm. Yeah, the way that I read it, it kind of made it sound like it was like, it's just like, essentially like a belt, but for like lifeguarding, I guess?
Maybe, or it could still be US. It's just I know most of the main programs and none of these are the program. So it's
Do
either like
medallions.
a company that runs their own program, or maybe it's somewhere out of the US or something like that, like Europe or something like that. Uh,
Mm.
who knows? But yeah, I've never heard of bronze medallion. Maybe we can look that up a little bit later, or even while reading the story, maybe we can see if we can find something on it. Um,
While you're reading, I'm gonna look it up a little bit.
Beautiful, beautiful. Let's see. So they learn to float, just nowhere near the competency of the bronze medallion exams. I continue teaching them anyway since they displayed deep interest in learning how to swim. I do love that, and I do want to take a note on that. So I'll get back to that. One day, I managed to persuade the 2 students into performing water entry techniques with the rest of the class at the deep end of the pool. I was in the water with them with kickboards in hands just in case they needed some help moving around the water. The class was quite successful. I decided to call it a day and told everyone to get out of the water. The 6 fast swimmers scurried across the water and and exited at the side of the pool, while the two slower ones floated slowly across the surface of the water, holding on to kickboards that I passed to them after class. I brought up the rear. Just as the three of us were reaching the edge of the pool, one of my competent students decided to jump in onto all three of us, screaming, "Don't worry, I will save you." So the strong swimmer who was out jumped into the crowd of three, one instructor, two not so great swimmers, and says, "Don't worry, I will save you." This guy lands on the instructor's head
Wow.
and managed to kick one of the other guys in the face. So a twofer. Two birds, one stone here. The two stragglers lost their kickboards. The nervous one panicked at the situation and began going underwater. There was a lot of flailing and kicking. People began screaming at the side of the pool. Rage. This is what we said. Rage, as I have not known before, simmered in my head as I moved in immediately to bring everyone out of the water. I towed one person using the kickboard that was floating about in the water. I went underwater to rescue the nervous one and brought him to the poolside using life saving backstroke. I propped him up using both my arms and legs by the side of the pool as lifeguards rushed to help both of the men out. I made sure both men were safe and sound, rounding up the other six, just short of yelling. I told him, "This will never happen again in my class, ever."
So
Period.
basically, this LGI is a beast.
Yeah, I mean, honestly,
Like,
because he got landed on the head, so you're already disoriented. That
yeah,
definitely brought him underwater. He then had to get up, figure out where everything was,
and save 3 people, right?
and yeah, well, he technically saved two. The culprit just kind of probably swam away, but noticed that both had lost their kickboard. Brought one to the edge, went down, go fetch the other. Did some what I can only assume is like he probably like put him on his chest and then like carried him and then like kind of towed away.
Right.
Um, but yeah, no, it absolutely insane.
Just like immediate chaos. Like,
Immediate,
I will save all of you. Don't worry. And it just jumps in and immediately makes it so
and
much
that's
worse.
and that's the Die Hard. That's
Yeah.
good. So it ends up. There's one last little bit left. It goes. The culprit was quite apologetic after the incident. Go figure.
Yeah.
6 out of 8 students eventually dropped out of the lessons as the exams day approached. Wow.
Wow. Wow.
Including both the slow swimmers and the culprit on that fateful day. Two females continue with the exam and are lifeguards today. Holy cow.
What a class.
I mean, this is a lot.
There's a lot to unpack there.
It's a lot to unpack because, I mean, this is an instructor. So now we're hitting home on my side, right? Because I love teaching.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I found out what a bronze medallion is. Do
okay.
you want to
Yeah.
know?
Let's go on this because this may help us with the conversation.
So essentially, as I'm understanding it, it's essentially just a lifeguard certification. And there are tiers for it. So there's dry rescue, wade rescue, accompanied rescue, a bronze star, a bronze medallion, and a bronze cross. So
Is this like a company like that does this?
um let me see.
I'm just curious with I like the levels, but I wonder if like a company like let's see, Starguard. I mean, they do it for their instructors and things like that.
Maybe
But
the
each one
Life
has like a
Saving
star.
Society? Is that a
Life
company?
Saving Society.
Yeah, that looks like what it's for. Yeah, it looks like the life, but it also looks like from other companies as well. But anyway, it's like if the tier list that I saw, if bronze medallion is second highest, and these guys, what was it, 6 of the 8?
6 of the 8. Yeah.
Yeah, 6 of the 8 were bronze medallion, and the other two, I guess it's assumed that those are the like incompetent ones,
Yeah.
or incompetent's a harsh word, but
Yeah.
like less
Yeah.
comfortable swimmers. Yeah,
They weren't. Yeah. Exact. Comfortable swimmers be good.
yeah,
So yeah, basically what I'm thinking is basically this is an advanced lifeguarding course, which I love the idea. I've always wanted to do like an advanced lifeguarding course. So I agree the advanced lifeguarding course is a great idea. But I also think that it should be, well, I don't know. I actually like that the association wanted to push these people through. I'm actually in support of that. And I mention all the times when I'm teaching instructor courses, and teaching these instructors that I rather have someone that's struggling but continuing to fight,
Mhm.
whether it's the swim, the tread, the brick. Like if they're struggling and they're not like 100% just crushing it, but they're fighting all the way till the end, those are really the people that I want, because I know in that situation, if they're kind of struggling a little bit to, you know, keep themselves afloat, but they're keeping their patron afloat, then I know they're going to continue doing that. Like they're not
Right.
going to give up until there's nothing else to do. Like it's 100% fight, and I love that mentality. So I do respect the association. I know maybe he didn't understand that, but people with fight, man, like those are the people that you want, because you can always make them better, and they're more likely to want to be better. I
Right.
mean, imagine if you were not comfortable swimming, right? You've done this, you're in this bronze medallion, this advanced lifeguard course, knowing you're not a good swimmer, and you see everyone around you
Balling
doing
out. Yeah.
great. Yeah, just
Yeah.
balling. And they're sticking with the class. Like they're willing to do like swim lessons to continue on with this class. Like that's hard, and
Yeah, I
that's
thought that was
great.
interesting in the story too, was like or he said that, they broke it off into 2, and it was like I don't know, that's really interesting because it's like he knew his class prior to starting it, and he knew that he probably had to do that, and he executed it, so and it didn't
It's
in
very
this
smart.
particular story, it, didn't work out the greatest, but that's still, yeah, that shows that he was a beast, you know? He's a good
And I
LGR.
yeah, and I wanna give full credit to this instructor, Ranjetta. I feel like I'm saying it different every single time, but, massive kudos to, um, you state your, "Hey, I think this is a little bit unsafe," which is good. If you're uncomfortable in a situation, that's what you should do.
Mhm.
But he didn't fight it after that. Association wanted him to go on, so he went on. He created a game plan to separate how he's going to do this to make sure everyone passed in the end. And granted, they didn't, but that was the plan. And I think it was a well executed plan.
Right.
And it is tough. It sounds like he was the only instructor. So he had no co instructor. He really had to figure out how to do this, which to me is he taught a skill to the comfortable swimmers, got them drilling, and then went to the uncomfortable swimmers, started helping them swim,
Mhm.
basically had them drilling, and was basically going back and forth. So the way that he separated himself, major kudos. And it worked because they were able to float and move in the water.
Right.
Were they Michael Phelps? Doesn't sound like it, but they were able to go. I want to know the guy that jumps in.
What his yeah,
Why?
what yeah, like, what was the idea there?
I don't know, man. Like I could see like throwing a tube out and be like, "Here you go, man." Like, I don't know. If he wants to
Yeah.
be kind of dickish and like, haha, you need life saving in a life saving course or whatever. I don't know. I just don't know why you would jump directly on the group. That's what gets me. Like,
It sounds like he was just like, "I'm here, I'm here to save the
yeah.
day."
Well, and
Like,
I guarantee it was probably like the best, like it was the hot shot.
yeah.
I don't know. Or someone just trying to be funny. And I always say every time you try to be funny, you usually fail. Um, but it's little life advice. You just gotta be funny naturally.
Yep.
There's a reason why there's stand-up comedians that get paid, because they try to be funny and the successful ones are successful. Um, but usually trying to be funny never works. You're just
Yeah,
kind of
that's
a,
that's
a
like
funny
class
person.
clown, like, main character type energy, you know?
Exactly. Like, it takes a lot, I think, to really try and be funny. I think
Yeah.
I really do think it's a skill, because I can do it. I've tried to be funny. I've tried to
Hey,
people that
come on,
tell
you're
the
fine.
loud stories. It'll never be me. I'm not as everyone can tell so far, not a very good storyteller. So the awareness of everything, gets smacked in the head, figures out what's going on, brings one to safety, goes underwater, brings the other one to safety. I love how he does all of this first, like he's really taken his emotions out of the situation
Mhm.
and focused on what needs to happen, which is life saving. And this is pretty hard to do. When you're in a life saving situation, emotions are peak. And to be able to detach from that is a skill that this guy has probably saved a life before. From the way he's communicating, the way he's talking, the way he did this, he's definitely done a couple saves before. Maybe
Right.
nothing extreme, but enough to kind of understand what that feels like and how to conquer that. Or was trained really, really, really well and just instinct took in. This is why I always say, like, you have to train like you save. You have to be hard. You got to be thorough. You got to do it over and over and over again. Because if this was his first save, this is textbook. It's pretty much as textbook as you could probably get.
Yeah.
Maybe I would have saved the underwater person first just to get him air, avoid the drowning process. But I don't think he went like the worst way about it. He saved one, pushed him to the wall. Maybe they were just closest, so it's like a little push, and then there you are to the wall. Hindsight always has like different ways. I'm sure he probably would have done it a little bit differently,
Right.
or maybe would have done it the same way. But you can tell like the training's there. Like he's done his training for sure, and he has executed that very, very well.
Yeah, just
So
even, like, the order of, like, operations, like, it just, like, as soon as everything goes down, it was just, like it sounds like it was very just, like, boom, 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 boom. Like, he just, like no time to even think. He didn't even, ponder it. He just went. He just
do
acted.
it.
Yeah.
You question yourself, you hesitate, that's what causes people to freeze. If you just take one step forward, you're better off. And
Yeah.
so you hear like the flight or fright type mentality, and that's ultimately what you're trying to avoid is what to do, and every lifeguard knows the idea of what needs to happen in a 911 situation, a life-saving situation. But what will get people to freeze is because they know everything, everything that needs to
Mhm.
happen, they don't know which to attack first. And so that's what I always say is don't worry about everything that needs to happen. What's missing? You know, what needs to happen? You have two swimmers. Well, both of them need to get to the edge, right? So, and the easiest way to mentalize that is okay, well, let's try one to the edge first. So that's what he did. He brought the one close to the edge, got him to the edge. Now that guy is safe. I don't have to worry about them. Now I can focus on the other guy and then I'll go and save him. So a lot of times what prevents the first step is they're trying to take six steps in all this different directions at the same time.
Right.
So in reality, all you need to do is just do one step. And then you can look back in hindsight, could I have done this better? Sure. That's how you grow and that's how you get better at saving lives. But if it's your first or you're just trying to, not freeze up, just do I quote Frozen 2, do
Good movie.
the next thing, right?
Good movie.
Great movie, actually. It's probably one of the Frozen 2 is one of the best life lessons that you can learn in a movie. It's super underrated in my opinion.
Yeah. No,
I
that
could
movie's
make
awesome.
could probably make a whole podcast off Frozen 2. It's just a great, great one. I won't do it today though.
Another podcast.
Now he's gotten everybody out, chaos averted. I love that it's rage. I love that he says rage because there's no doubt it's rage. He got hit in the head. Class was in, so it's the end of the day, and this random dude jumps, ruins everything. Rage is a very accurate word, and it simmered in his head. But
Simmered.
he
Yeah.
handled this really, really well, right? Um, he brings everyone out, and he just says, "This will never happen again in my class ever." And you could have fumed, like, you could have just cussed everybody
Oh, you could have
out.
said so many more words, and maybe
Yeah,
he did, to be fair.
maybe. But
Maybe
I'm gonna give homie,
the
benefit
benefit
of
of
the
the doubt.
doubt and
Yeah.
said he was able to contain his emotions
Yeah.
and give it very firm, very strict, "Never again will this happen," right? So, if he did cuss and yell and swear and destroy all these people and whatever, obviously, that's not the route you wanna take. This is, you be firm and say, "I don't know what happened, but it'll never happen again." Safety's,
Mhm.
give safety speech, do the due diligence to make sure it doesn't happen again. Um, but kudos to him, benefit of the doubt there. What
Yep.
worries me, and maybe because it is an advanced class, but 6 of 8 students drop. Now, it doesn't say why. Maybe it was the incident. Maybe it was just maybe this is a really hard advanced course. But I
Mhm.
would like to know further why 6 of 8 students passed, or 6 of 8 students failed. Um, so I'd be curious there. So that would be the only thing I would love to know. Um, but overall, an insane story. I think the instructor, he literally did everything super, super well.
Right.
Um, I have no complaints on how we dealt with that. So, but crazy, crazy out of nowhere jump, save everybody's lives, continue on with the course. It's a good guy.
Wow.
Um, so that's my story. And Tanner, I think you got another one.
Yeah. Hold on, let me pull it up real quick. This one is we'll do the other core one.
Okay.
All right. So basically from the same website. Um, this was an answer to the question as a lifeguard, what was your craziest save? And this guy named Stephen Cohen, he said, in my 33 plus years, there have been a few. So very experienced.
Wow.
Um, Little kids playing and little kids drowning can look exactly the same. A few times I've had to go in for guys that were trying to ferry their girlfriend across the pool, and she was freaking because she didn't know how to swim, and he wasn't nearly as good a swimmer as he thought he was. So I've yeah definitely seen that in pools before. Um, let's see. There was even this time that this guy got pissed at me saying that he wasn't drowning, although he was thrashing and going down in the deep end, and for me to leave him alone. I can't do that, sir. My boss would really get mad at me if he saw you at the bottom of the pool just lying there, which is very true. Thought that was a really good addition to the
Role
story.
enforcement there.
Yeah. But probably my craziest was the time when this quite large young guy, in parentheses, 6'3", 300 pounds, fell off this air mattress he was on, didn't even struggle, and went to the bottom of this 12-foot deep end of the pool.
I'm sorry, it
Now, to
says
be
air
honest,
mattress.
yeah, I think when he said that, I'm thinking that he's meaning just a like maybe just a float.
Big inflatables.
Yeah, like a big inflatable float. It might have been an actual air mattress. I'm not sure. Um,
'Cause we never know where these from, doesn't say.
yeah,
So,
yeah. He said, and now to be honest, well, yeah, so 6'3", 300 pound guy, he's at the bottom of this pool after falling off of this, we'll say air mattress.
okay.
Um, Now, to be honest and not to brag, I saw this whole incident evolve and was off my guard chair real quick with my arm in the air, signaling a potential problem to the other guards on deck. So good so far. He's doing good.
Yep.
Um, what was strange, though, was that he made his perfect dolphin kick twice on his way down to the bottom of the pool. Now, for
Mm,
those who don't know, doing a dolphin kick perfectly means that you know what you're doing in the water because no one but a skilled slash trained swimmer could or would do one. Um, but when he got to the bottom of the pool, he just rolled over. Then I knew it was hammer time and blew my whistle and went in
it's
after.
hammer time.
Hammer time, yeah. He's like, it's go time. He's been sitting up just waiting.
He's been
Yeah,
waiting for
because he
this.
it sounds like he was doing his like doing a good job on his part by like assessing the potential problems of the situation by watching his water, you know? So he
Great details. Because I never
right.
would have thought about a dolphin kick. Like, you do know what you're doing to dolphin kicking. Like, that's a hard,
Yeah.
great
So
awareness.
so this guy's yeah, he is locked into the situation. Um he said he knew it was hammer time, blew his whistle and went in after him. Very lucky for me, my other guard was there as I had him about halfway up from the bottom of the pool. But boy was I glad to get the assist. He was passed out and was unconscious, but came to at the side of the pool. O2 was put on him and first aid done, and the paramedics came because his responses just weren't right. He came in the next day to thank me, and he put in parentheses, which is unusual.
Yeah.
Thought that was funny.
It happens.
Yeah, but we don't do it for the
Although
thanks.
I feel like a lot of our emergencies, we've gotten a lot of thank yous.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, especially yeah, no, for sure. But I think it's like it's funny that he included it because it's like I don't know, we don't do it for the thanks, you know.
yeah. Yeah,
We
that's
do it.
fair. That's
We do
fair.
it to save the lives.
You
But
do it to do it.
yeah, which is unusual. And I asked him why he didn't struggle, and he said that he just knew he was going to die, and that was just fine, and he didn't care. I stood there and thought to myself, "Not at my pool, buddy."
Holy cow, dude.
Yeah. So,
That's a plot twist.
yep. And that is the end of that story. But I thought that this was very. I I wanted to include this story because I thought that it added a personal twist to it that I think a lot of people, especially who work for us, can relate to. Where it's like they've had people say like, you know, oh, don't worry if I'm, you know, if I'm drowning, I can save myself. And it's
Yeah.
like at that point, you're not like you're putting us liable. You're putting like the facility liable. Like we're not gonna just take your word for it by saying that you're okay. You know, like I always tell like the guards to err on the side of caution. Like
Yeah.
if you jump in and you save somebody who didn't need to be saved, that is so much better. Like
Way better.
oh, it's so much better than not jumping in because you thought somebody was cool and they end up drowning.
Yeah.
So
Because it's like, I always say it's what if, and I always use Michael Phelps. He's the most obvious, most renowned swimmer.
yeah,
So obviously he comes up to you, says, "Don't worry about me. I'm Michael Phelps." Obviously, you would be tempted to be like, "Yeah, you're right. That's Michael Phelps."
right,
But it takes like one weird gulp of water, it
right,
takes an internal thing going on, like a stroke, heart attack, takes any of these things can happen. And there's
right.
people having heart attacks at very young ages,
And
and
that's interesting you
just
say
can't
that
plan
because
for that.
it could completely have nothing to do with your skill as a swimmer.
Yeah,
Like, it can be something completely underlying that they don't even know about. Maybe they have a heart condition that they don't even know about, you know, and something happens in the water. Um, and maybe if Michael Phelps actually came to your pool and was like, "Hey, you know, look at how many gold medals I've won swimming," maybe you give him a little bit like leeway, you know, like maybe like a
yeah,
little bit here and there. But at the end of the day, the signs are still the same, you know?
yep,
So yeah, but I thought that was a very interesting story. I thought it was very funnily read or funnily written. Um,
mhm.
and again, that guy was Stephen Cohen, and 33 years. I don't know if he's saying that he's 33 years old or if he's been doing. I took it as he's been doing lifeguarding for 33 years.
I mean, it's possible. I lifeguarded. I mean, this guy was basically retired. He had done everything. He lifeguarded in his early years, did career life, and it was just one of those guys that couldn't just sit around and do nothing. He needed a
Hmm.
job, and he remembered how much he loved lifeguarding. So he was, I want to say, like 65, somewhere between like 65 and 70. And he lifeguarded with us, and he was cool, man. We loved him. His name was Bob.
Bob.
Perfect old man name.
Yeah, seriously.
But he was great. He had a super carrying voice. Like, voice would carry like all the way across the pool, in an indoor pool.
When you said he
He
was
did swim
retired, right?
lessons. What?
You said he was retired, like from his
Yeah,
like
retired. This
career.
was this.
Yeah.
It's just pay bills. He worked 20 hours a week. He worked some 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. shifts. And then he would do swim lessons at night. That's all I did,
Nice.
Monday through Thursday.
That's cool.
So he was cool, man.
Shout out Bob. Yeah.
He actually inspired. I honestly, because I feel like I'll be the same, right? I can't be retired and not do anything. I got to do
Yeah.
something. I'll take like a 6 months, a year off, maybe, um, probably for sure. But I know in the end, like I got to do something. I got to be a part of something. I got to be moving.
Be active
So
somehow, yeah.
I'll probably lifeguard. I'll be the 68-year-old lifeguard.
With
Don't
tattoos.
care. I probably won't do swim lessons, but I'll
Threatening to
definitely
put your
lifeguard.
managers in headlocks.
Yeah, 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 exactly. But
Uh,
I love, going to the story, I love this guy's awareness, man, like, this is something that we try to teach really, really well, but you can tell the experience level of this guy,
yeah.
and I think it's crucial that this is what you should the difference between, like, a first-year lifeguard and, like, a 3rd, 4th-year lifeguard, it's stuff like this, like, you're just able to know from experience, from just really figuring it out, hearing stories like this, you can just really tell, like, these types of situations. There's
Yeah.
no way I would ever expect a day one lifeguard to be like, that guy's dolphin kicking down to the bottom of the pool.
Right.
He should be a good swimmer, but yet still something's wrong.
Right.
Because in all instances, okay, that guy's going down in the bottom of the pool and he'll come back up. He just wants to go down. I can very easily like see that understanding. But he was like, something's up
Right.
because of how he went into the water. And so I thought that that was really interesting how we saw that. So awareness is key. I think that's super, super good. Obviously, a massive human. Doesn't sound like this guy. I think this guy was just very good at his skills. Doesn't sound like the biggest person because now
He
granted, six
mentioned
three and 300
the
pounds is
yeah.
huge.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But, to me, he's probably average build,
Right.
saving, 6'3", 300. It's a big boy.
Yeah, big guy.
And I've saved a well, I fake save in service, we had a lifeguard. He was 6'4" and 300 pounds. And you could move him how you wanted to move him. Like he did work in the water really well, but it was heavy,
Yeah.
it was for sure heavy.
But the
Um,
idea behind, all of the saves that we teach is that the smallest, like,
yeah,
weakest guard could save the biggest drowning person.
pretty much. I always say that, and this is just kind of like a number I kind of made up, but if you do these skills super, super well, a 90-pound human could save like a 300-pound person.
Wow.
As
Yeah.
long as you do the techniques right, you
Technique.
could do
Yeah,
this.
technique.
Now, it's going to suck. It's going to be terrible. Assisting is always great,
Right.
but I really think that if you do these techniques right and appropriately, yeah, you can do it. Easy.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I
Um,
just imagine, yeah, like a 90-pound, 5'4", you know, little guard that we have, going in there and just like one on one, just boom.
well, no,
Technique.
too, and
One, two, three,
it's
done.
like it's a vague story, because I wasn't there, but it was basically a heart attack in the water, and it's she was literally, I wouldn't say made fun, like we didn't bully her. Well, I did, she wasn't bullied, but she was very small and made fun of for that, but not in a negative way. In a
Right.
bonding, we have a relationship way. And she does CPR on this person 11 minutes straight,
Wow.
no break. Just boom, 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 boom. 11 minutes straight. Didn't switch, not once. So even like in that instance, like you would think you would need a break. It's like if you just do these skills, you do them well, you practice them all the time, adrenaline's gonna fuel you. When that adrenaline is running through you, you're lifting up cars, you're throwing things.
Yeah.
We always hear the story of the parent, you know, doing those things to save their kid. That is the adrenaline. That's what you need. And that's why I say maybe you would struggle in service, 90-pound human, 6'3", 300
Because you're
pound
not in the
human.
real.
You're not in set, right?
Yeah.
But if you work on those skills and you practice on doing them perfectly, one, that is going to help you in service. Two, definitely will help you in a real life situation.
Right. Absolutely.
And I just loved how he ended it. Um,
Not in my pool, buddy.
Not at my pool, man. Like, I'm gonna keep you alive.
Not on
And
my
I
watch.
really
Yeah.
think it's actually quite powerful. It sounds like this guy had a new appreciation,
Yeah.
um, for this, So it's I think lives are saved in more way than one in this story, and I think that's very, very cool. Um,
Yeah, and
and
he
I
took
just
pride
love the
in the safety of, not only
yeah,
his supervision and, watch, but just, like, the safety of the facility as a
yeah.
whole and the
And
community,
that's
which is
what
cool.
that's the goal, right? We want it
Yeah.
doesn't I never want the lifeguards to feel like they're doing things for us. I want them to have the passion that they're really doing this for everybody else.
Yeah.
You
Like
know,
they're protecting.
I
Yeah.
I like to view us as we're helping them live
Mhm.
up to that mindset to do this for other people. It's never about us.
Yeah.
Great, great story.
Cool. You wanna do I'll do this 3rd one, and then we'll kinda wrap it up?
Yep. Let's
Cool.
do the third.
Alright, this one,
This one's more heartfelt, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. This one is a little bit more serious, more heartfelt, but it's still got some entertainment, to it.
Good.
So, um, this one is on CNN. I'm getting this off CNN by a Bethany Hines. Doing our due diligence of
Yep.
yeah.
Gotta get the
What is
what
that?
is it
Yeah,
called?
it's been so
Whatever.
long since I've been in
Gotta
college. Yeah,
get that thing noted in there. But yes,
sources,
I think we did it.
sources. Yeah,
Sources,
we're giving our
yes,
sources.
we gotta
Yeah.
get our sources in.
Okay. Cool. Well, the title of this article is Just One Day After Completing CPR Training, a Teen Saves Her Friend's Life.
Nice.
So, with 30 compressions and 2 rescue breaths, 16-year-old Tori L. Norwood saved her best friend's life just a day after completing a basic life support class at her high school. Um, Quotes: I never would have thought that I would be the one out of all of the students in my class to have to perform it on someone, she said. And like everybody says that.
It's
And
true.
like that's very like that's how I felt going through my
Mhm.
lifeguard class. Like it's
Yep.
like odds are you're probably never going to have to be the one to do it. But
Until you are the one.
until you are the one. And it's
Yep.
like that's why we preach like every single person needs to like take pride in their own skills and work on their own skills, because we don't even know, like nobody
Mhm.
knows who's going to have to use it. So, but Norwood was driving 3 friends home in St. Petersburg, Florida on February 20th when another driver slammed into her from her left and sent her car careening. The impact jammed shut the driver's side door, so Norwood climbed out the front window. 2 of her friends managed to get out of the car unharmed, but the collision caused her 16-year-old friend, Azaria Simmons, to hit her head on the backseat window. Quote, when I turned around, I didn't see Azaria running with us, Norwood told CNN. So I had to run back to the car as fast as I can. She was just sitting there unresponsive. And that's when the training Norwood had just learned kicked in. A lot of people started to gather around to see what was happening, and I started yelling, back up, she needs space. So, first, that's like awesome. It's
It's
perfect.
good.
Yep,
To control the
clear.
situation.
Yep. Assess
Good.
it. Yeah, get everybody out of the way. Um, she pulls Simmons out of the back seat, avoiding broken glass from the window. Also, very important. That's when I checked her pulse on her neck. I put my head against her chest, and I didn't really hear nothing. So, that's when I just started doing CPR on her. After the 30 compressions and 2 rescue breaths, Simmons regained consciousness.
Wow.
Paramedics quickly arrived and rushed her to the hospital, where she received stitches for a gash in her forehead. I don't remember the hit or anything about the accident, but when I woke up, I was in the hospital. I was in shock, and I was trying to figure out how I got there, Simmons said. Um, Norwood, a junior at St. Petersburg Lakewood High School, participates in the school's athletic lifestyle management academy. Jeez, I cannot talk right now.
Right, it happens.
The program prepares students for various careers in health science. We do vital signs, and they learn how to take blood pressure and check pulse. We have just about 100 students in our academy. Erica Miller, Norwood's instructor, told CNN. Um, when Miller learned that Norwood resuscitated a friend, she was at a loss of words and so proud. She said, I was just absolutely astounded. I have former students come back once they're in nursing school or have gone on to pursue careers at EMTs and say, oh my gosh, this is what it was like. But not while they were still a student of mine, or definitely not within 24 hours of the course. This is what every teacher dreams of, that somebody listens, pays attention, and learns something.
Mhm.
Last little bit right here. Norwood and Simmons share a long friendship. We've been friends since seventh grade, Simmons shared, and since then, it's just been us. Thanks to Norwood's quick thinking, Simmons is recovering well. She also isn't surprised by her friend's actions. She will always help in any way she can to help anybody, Simmons said. If it wasn't me, if it was someone else and she knew she could do something to help, she would have done it. So I wasn't really shocked about that. Both friends plan to pursue careers in the medical field. I do want to be a nurse, Norwood said with excitement. I know that if somebody was in need of help, I'd go to the rescue.
It's
And that
good,
is
man.
the ending of the story. But
Super good.
yeah, it's crazy that she had just had her first, this was her first exposure to CPR.
Yeah.
That was less than 24 hours from that moment. And that goes back to what we were saying about like adrenaline kicking in, and like you should feel like it, like
Yeah.
your CPR skills. You know what to do in that moment. But I think that, like you're saying, like, and I see it a lot at in service, and I see it a lot when we're auditing or whatnot. The second guessing, or like the fear of being wrong in the moment, is what holds people back most, like
Yep.
easily. And and in a situation like this, you don't even get a moment to fear being wrong, because you're immediately kicked into high gear. You're immediately kicked into it, and it's just like you just got to go do it. So
And
there
you
is
see the
no,
success of that too.
yeah, yeah. So
That's what's
I thought that was really interesting to read. Just yeah, just crazy, 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 crazy. And
I love.
I also thought it's funny that they're both going to be nurses. So this
Yeah.
will be a story that they tell for forever.
And I think that shows, like, it does take a certain type of person to kinda look, if you're aspiring to be in the health field, like, there's no doubt, like, lifeguarding is a great first step. It's something that you can do in high school. It
Absolutely.
works with the clubs, gets you certified, um, and not even nursing, EMT, paramedics, firefighter. We have so many people from our company that take that route, and
Yeah.
it's very, very helpful. I had one guy, he was, been lifeguarding with us for a while, got into the management side of things and ran that. And then once he graduated high school, he got accepted in fire academy, and they were covering oxygen. And he was just answering questions left and right. And the instructor was like, geez, like, do you want to teach it? And he's like, I could, because he was an
Yeah.
instructor. He was a lifeguard instructor. And he was like, why not? And so he ended up teaching oxygen to the rest of the fire academy
Wow.
and,
What, and he
crushed
was
it.
supposed to be a student?
Yeah, he was a student. And then
Wow.
instructor just brought him down and said, you seem like you know what you're doing. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
And he taught it, perfectly.
That's awesome.
There was some like minor things that they covered.
Right.
Um, like they do like one person BVM. Um, we do two, right?
Mhm.
And
Well, so what is one person BVM? Is that just you have one hand on the
yeah, you
mask and
basically
then
like one hand to like seal and then one to squeeze.
okay.
And there's like a certain way you do that. I don't know what the way is, but
Yeah.
so he said there was like some stuff that he didn't, and the instructors kind of filled in for that moment. But he said, yeah, I pretty much taught it all in like an hour, which it only takes about an hour or two to really teach oxygen. Um, but yeah, crushed it. So
Nice.
and he's a firefighter. He's, he's a great guard, great manager, great area manager. He's a great firefighter. I hear all his stories. He does great things, and like I said, it just goes back to that mentality that if you have the right mentality to want to be good and want to be prepared to save someone's life, you're going to take in that information a lot more and a lot better. I mean, 24 hours to remember to check vitals. I don't think
Mhm.
anyone really would remember that after 24 hours in a course. I mean, that again is just a mentality
Yeah.
to know I need to check vitals and make sure I know what's wrong before I start providing care.
Well, and she
The
mentioned that she put her head down on her chest, which is
Yeah,
another small detail that I think that a lot of people would forget. Because you see it
yeah,
in movies, it's just like, oh, you just put the 2 fingers on your neck and just like
or even the wrist, right? Like they'll do
yeah,
the wrist, you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So yeah, I like that. Creating space, getting people
Mhm.
away.
That too, yeah, that
That's
was like
really good.
yeah.
What else? There was like one other thing. No, I think that was it. Yeah, pulse, and then and it 30 and 2, knew the numbers right off the bat. I'd
Mhm.
really like to give kudos to this instructor. What was her um
Um,
Norwood, um Erica Miller, Norwood's instructor. Erica Miller, you did a great training for someone to retain this high level within 24 hours and saved a friend's life.
kudos.
I'm sure you already like massive kudos to yourself, but I just want to give my kudos on that as well because that's insane for this person, 16 years old, to remember all of these incredible details, take control of the situation
Right.
without panic, and just do what needed to be done. Like absolutely amazing. Cannot give kudos enough to that. That's beautiful, and it works out. So I know I said like, nursing and all this, like I have the mindset. And so what if I'm not a nursing? What if I want to do business? What if I want to do, environmental science? What if I want to become a doctor? Well, I take that back. A doctor, no, lawyer. There we go. What if I want to do lawyer? Um, you can always have this mindset. I'm not saying that you have to be wanting to be a nurse, firefighter, paramedic, EMS, whatever, to be in this mindset. The mindset is I want to be able to help people, which so many people say when we talk to them, why do you want to become a lifeguard? Why this instead of fast food,
McDonald's.
retail,
Yeah.
whatever. It's because they want to help people. And so use the base foundation that you want to help people and know that the only way you can 100% be ready to help people is to train and really learn and understand what your purpose is within a life-saving situation. And
Mhm.
once you practice that, once you prepare, do all these mock scenarios. Once you really get it, read your book like 3,000 times, um, this is what helps you get there. And then you can add certain levels, you can add more stress to your mock scenario. You can just do it repetitively. Like there's so much you can do to be the best because my biggest fear, and this is what I harp so much on my instructors, is our goal is to set lifeguards to be life saving ready day one, literally 24 hours. So, day one, they have to be life saving ready because the worst feeling you can have is knowing that you could have studied, you could have practiced, you could have trained, and then you get put into a life saving situation. You did not take that seriously, and now you have no idea what to do. And
Yeah.
it like rips my heart inside. And that's why I push the instructors as hard as I push them. That's why our instructors are pushing the guards as much. That's why at the end of the day, if it's not quite there, we may not pass you that day because the worst feeling that we could give is for you to be false prepared and then have that situation happen to you. It would tear me apart. It would eat me. And
Right.
so uh, we we go hard. But what we do to compensate other places, if you failed a lifeguard course, you pay again. It's like 225 bucks on average to take a lifeguard course. With us, if you failed, one, we take ownership in that and we do everything that we do to figure out where we got to that point. And like there are conversations on the back end with other instructors and myself to figure out how we can help them better in the future. So whether that's a swim workout plan, focusing on certain needs, like we could really do go above and beyond to make sure this one person has everything they need to be successful.
Right.
So we do that, but we send you to another lifeguard course absolutely free. So no having to pay again. We had one person, they attended 5 or 6 lifeguard courses before we gave them a thumbs up and they were good. Most incredible story. Pretty much I one of the top 10 barefoot stories we have, and became a phenomenal lifeguard, ended up managing a large facility and crushing it. And not many people can say they would have the
Chutzpah.
will,
Yeah.
yeah, to go back and fail again 6 times before passing at all that work we put in, 24-ish hours roughly for a lifeguard course, I think. I mean, 100
Yeah.
plus hours to just become a lifeguard. And if we never gave that person a chance, or if we were like, well, you got to pay for the next one, you got to pay for the next one, we never would have had that person do great and amazing things.
Right.
And that's what we always say. It's not, we do run a company. Obviously, money has to flow, right? Bills got to be paid. Um, but there's so much more. Like we do this for them, the people that have and want to help people and
Mhm.
help them be successful. And this is what we push. And I just think it's so great that this is something that we provide that maybe others don't necessarily provide. Is that you got the mindset, you're going to give me 100%, then I'm giving you 100% every step of the way. So kudos to Norwood, kudos to Erica. Um, I think it's great. I love this. Is I think is a great story to end on. So thank you for finding that one, Tanner.
Of course.
And yeah, I think we can wrap it up there. You got anything else? I feel like that was
No, no. Let us know if you guys like this, because this is like
yes.
a newer kind of road that we could go on. And like Parker had said earlier, I mean, this could be like a series within a series. So yeah, let us know if y'all like this stuff, and we'll try and get more out there. And we can also try and dive more into some bigger stories, and kind of go from there. So yeah.
Yep. Yeah, if you want us to break anything down, if you have a story that you want to share, you found it online,
Hmm.
feel free to send to us. We'll take it. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try and create um an email for y'all to send, hey, we'd love for y'all to talk about this. If there were certain things that you liked, whatever you want to do,
Hmm.
gonna create an email so that you can send it into that suggestions, stories, whatever. So open essentially form for y'all to do that. Provide your 2 cents and you know, if you yeah, I think that way you guys we want to hear you. It's not
Yeah.
us speaking. I obviously would love for you. We love when you guys listen to our podcast. It's been never what I thought. We've gotten 35 downloads on the first episode. And I
Yeah.
cannot thank you all enough on that. That's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I mean, 30,
Um,
35. Like that, a lot of people are going to see that and be like, oh, that's still low. But like, I want y'all to know, like, all 35 of y'all, I mean, like, this means everything,
yeah.
like, seriously, it means everything that you at least, like, even if you just popped it on for, 10, 15 minutes while you were driving, I mean, it really means everything to us. So thank you guys.
Absolutely big thank you. So we appreciate that. So hopefully this email be another way to kind of help with that. We want to hear you guys. You guys did make us love the dream every single time we do this. We want to make sure that we're fulfilling your dreams with that as well. So going on to Barefoot World, we just had we're halfway through our LGI course, our first session, going beautifully. Great group of people. Our next one for DFW and for Houston is going to be February 17th and 18th, and then continuing on the next weekend, February 24th and 25th. So all applications should be in your email. Um, for some reason you can't find it, feel free to reach out to me. It's totally fine. Or Tanner,
Yeah.
or Kevin. If you're down in Houston listening to this, you can reach out to them. We'll get you squared away. But that's the next session. If you're asking why it's on Super Bowl weekend, that's why, because it's Super Bowl. So that was unintentionally, because I love me and my Super Bowl. Although, granted, I don't know who's actually in it. Was it
The Chiefs.
Detroit lost, right? It's the
Yeah, Detroit
Chiefs.
lost.
Yeah,
Yeah,
damn.
Chiefs and the
49ers,
Niners.
and
A rematch of what, 2 years ago, I think, or 3 years ago?
I'm going Chiefs, man. I hate the
I am
49ers.
I'm going Chiefs too.
I just don't like the 49ers. I mean, and I
I wa
love Mahomes.
I wanted the
I will
Ravens,
admit.
man. I wanted the Ravens, I
A
wanted Lamar
lot of
Jackson.
people were
Yeah,
rooting for
I
the
love
Ravens.
Lamar. Love me some Lamar, so but it was,
Lamar's cool, man.
yeah.
He does it quite different than most, and I love it.
Mhm.
Um, no word on the barefoot tube, but like I said, I know we got the final product. I know we're working into it. Um, but no word on that, so I apologize. I don't have too much of an update. I'll try and get with Kevin for our next episode. Um, yeah, I think we're that. We got a new logo. So if you like the logo, please let us know. Pretty happy with it. So this is probably my most excitement. Um, we have our first sponsor. Well, not really a sponsor. I'm an ambassador for what's called Mad Rabbit Tattoo. So this is only going to be for my tattoo people. Although technically, if you have dry skin, like it's still lotion, so you could use it. But we have our own promo code with Mad Rabbit. It's Bear BEAR 2024. I have all the details in the descriptions below. But it's a way for you to get 20% discount. uh, they really have like four main products. You have the balm, which is what this guy is. Sorry, there we go. There you go, Mad Rabbit. Um, this is probably my favorite because it makes the tattoo pop like super well. I kind of want to try it. I just feel
Yeah,
like
I was about to
the
say, can you try it?
can I try it? All right, let's see. So here's before, and it really works well. I think to me better on color than on, and it still works fine on black and white.
Yeah,
Let's see if I can do like a
a live application.
live application. Probably the worst app video ever.
You can
It kind
already
of looks a
see
little
it,
better.
though.
It's really hard to see on camera. I'm not gonna lie. But when I first tried this, I had a guy. I was at a wedding. He showed me the stuff, and I was like, okay, lol. Let me try it. Right. And I like put it on, and my I've never seen my rose so bright than before, like, when I shaved and it was like freshly done, and it
Yeah,
just instantly made it brighter. So if you're looking to kind of like make the tattoo pop, um, it's also kind of protective, like it kind of has like this like water, like I'll pour water on it, it's like kind of waterproof. Um, it's a little thick, I will admit, like it is thick, but it does make your tattoo look good if you're trying to like make it look good extra. It's still hydrating, moisturizing your skin. It's just going to be on a thicker side. If you don't want that, there's the lotion. I have not tried the lotion, but I have ordered the lotion. So I will give you feedback on that next episode. But it looks pretty solid from what I see. A lot of what Mad Rabbit is pure ingredients that just really help and focus on tattoo, making it live and look as beautiful as possible.
it's really good stuff.
And then
Yeah,
there's the aftercare, which I used for the first time, and I think it worked really well. Um, I like it because there's like a soothing agent. So for irritation and things like that, like when you would brush your tattoo and you could really feel it,
mhm,
it just didn't make me panic as much
yeah.
when I like scraped it on something. I didn't. It felt nice. So I was really surprised how much I ended up liking that because I'm old school. Moisturizer the first 3 days, lotion once or twice a day, and call it. Um, so I really like that. You still have to wash it and stuff like normal, but it was great. And you use it for 14 days and then you move on to the lotion or the balm. Um, so I think there's those are the main products. I may have said 4, but I think it's 3. But they have great stuff, different smells. Highly recommend. Cannot recommend enough. I have tattoos all over my arm. And I'm working on my leg, and this was like the best product I've ever seen. So big
Yeah.
representative. Use our code 20% off. They do a lot of deals, and they also do my favorite is subscriptions. So you can subscribe. You just like Amazon. Just subscribe. You want this every month, and you get every month. So codes down in description below. That's our next big thing. And I want to see if there's any other new things that we did. YouTube is coming out, so if you wanted to see our beautiful faces, that's coming. Just got to work on the edits, and that's it. So, love you all very much. As always, cannot tell you how much we appreciate you. You guys are absolutely awesome. Thank you so much for joining us every single week.
Love you
Heart
guys.
sent your way. See y'all.
Bye, guys.